Now to a story of a senior citizen who's doing it a little hard this winter with a bout of alopecia, leaving him exposed to the cooler temperatures. 28-year-old Laurie is a capuchin monkey who escaped a life in the circus to spend his twilight years with his foster family and 5 other monkeys in Kaitoke near Wellington. His hair and recent rapid weight loss is a bit of a worry. So today his carer, Carolyn Press-McKenzie, headed off to Wild Base Hospital at Massey University so Laurie could get the once-over from their specialist vets.
He's been losing a bit of weight. It was something we noticed, but it wasn't alarming. And then in the last few days, he's just really dropped. And so when you're dealing with a wild animal, you don't really want to have to take them to the doctors. It can stress them quite a lot. So it was picking that right time, and last night we looked at him and thought, no, we've got to go and get some bloods and run some. He's kind of a senior citizen, so run a senior citizen panel on him, really.
How old is he then?
He's about 28. He's not our oldest monkey. We have a 33-year-old and a 36-year-old and a 38-year-old as well, but he's always been a little bit puny. He's come from quite a rough beginning, as it were, so he's never been a flourishing monkey, but he's had a lot of love in the last few years, which have really supported him through it.
So what is Laurie's background? What was the rough beginning?
So he came from the circus, so he was captive born, and then they get taken from their mum and get set to work training to be circus performers. And he's quite an emotionally a sensitive chap. So for him, I think there was an awful lot of emotional pressure through his life. We just did x-rays at the vets just now, and they've found he's had broken ribs in the past. He's had a few battles along the way, I think, just to be a happy chap, and I don't think for many years he pulled it off. Apparently he was trained to ride ponies, and after a while he started acting out and throwing tantrums and biting people, so he was set aside, and at the circus, he travelled with the circus, but for a few years there he didn't perform because he wasn't behaving well enough. So when we got him, he was quite a broken little chap. He had a chain around his neck, and he was very shut down, would rock a lot and scream a lot. But he's full of love and life now, but his little body is still, I think, not as robust as it should be.
I understand he's got a touch of alopecia, is that right?
Yeah, so initially when he came to us, he was self-inflicted alopecia. So he was pulling out his hair a little bit just around his flank, and has always had that, and we've always accepted it as just being part of his journey. But what's happened in the last month or so is it started tracking right up the side of his body. So he's almost bald down one side, which is obviously not okay, and it's winter, so it's especially not okay. It's cold out there. So He's gone off to the wonderful Wild Base team at Massey. They're amazing. And how often do you have a monkey vet just up the road? So we're pretty lucky, really. So we've had to package him up and drive him to Massey, and they've done basically they knocked him down, so he had an anaesthetic.
So he had the little gas mask on. I saw him, he had the little gas mask on. And I'm wondering, was he a little nervy? Because I saw his little tiny paw gripping onto your finger in one of the photos.
Yeah, we're always holding hands. We've got a bit of a special relationship now. So he likes to seek comfort. So he was actually asleep, so maybe him holding my paw at that point, my hand at that point was actually for me more than for him. But when he is awake, we do hold hands a lot. And he actually, his best friend in the whole world is a cat. Because he's come from such a dysfunctional past, he doesn't get on particularly well with other primates. So he actually raised a kitten. He raised her about 8 years ago, and he lives with her and loves her and cuddles her, and they're best friends. And Daisy, here we go. It's giving him a grape. He's waking up, so he's hungry. He's there, and he's been with us, I'd say, about 12 or 13 years now. He's really settled into a wee routine, and he likes to dig for worms and sit up in trees. And, he's having a good time, I think, except for something going majorly wrong with his body right now, so we need to get to the bottom of it.
Have the vets been able to tell you anything after the tests, or is there a bit of a waiting time for that?
Well, The good news is they were with the rapid weight loss, we were worried about a tumour perhaps. So he's had full body x-rays and there was nothing alarming, which was good. So that's really good. We're ruling out the really big scary ones straight away. But the blood results we won't get till tomorrow, and the skin sort of scrapes and fecal counts and everything else like that we won't have probably for another week or so. So we're a wee way away from knowing completely, but we're just going to sort of set him up with an extra special heat lamp and just nurse him along a little bit and see if we can just sort of ride it out while we wait for some results to give us more conclusive idea of what we're dealing with.
So Laurie's having a bit of a yawn and a wake up there, is he? How's he looking?
He's sitting up now and he's just sucking on a grape. He likes juicy fruit, and he's got a bit of avocado in his other hand. So yeah, he's kind of wobbling a bit. He has to hold himself up, but he's doing really well.
Oh well, yeah. If he's looking for food, he's obviously perked up.
Exactly. So no, it's only good news. So that's really good. But we just want to get to the bottom of what's causing this weight loss. It's always a concern, isn't it? But he looks like a little old man now. He's gone from, being a handsome young chap to sort of looking a little bit of a withered old man. So we'll just make sure whatever we can do for him to give him the best quality of life that's what we're aiming for anyway.
It's Carolyn Press-McKenzie, who's Laurie's caregiver. And if you are not watching, you do need to go online to see those pictures of Laurie. He is so cute, even with his slightly mottled alopecia coat. And his best buddy, the cat, which he raised from a kitten, is called Jungle. So we will have pictures of Jungle and Laurie on our Facebook page and our webpage. Do go and check it out.